So basically what we're doing, for those of you who don't know, CKXU is going to be positing a levy question to the student body in the general election. So we have actually two questions. The first one is tying the levy, which we collect, which is currently $5 of student money, which we use to finance our operation, pay for the transmitter, pay for our staff, and finance our space and all our operations. I guess so the first question we're going to ask is that to tie that $5 to a CPI increase, which means that, so typically CPI, the Consumer Price Index, which is the measure of inflation, goes up a couple of percent, like 1 to 3% a year. So that'll just be a few more cents added to levy every year to kind of protect us from rising costs, so we can build a bit of a wage grid and protect our staff and ourselves from kind of changes in the economic volatility, basically. The other question we're asking for is we're asking if the students are comfortable with us collecting another $3, which we could use to finance a considerable expansion in our operation. CKXU hasn't passed the levy since 2007, was when we got the $5.
Yes.
Yes, 2007. So that was the last time. So we have kind of reached what we can do with the current level of funding we're receiving from students. And we did some calculations and we determined that $3 per student per semester would allow us to make significant growth in our organization, focusing in three key areas. As you can see, our lovely posters contain them. The first one would be upgrading our signal strength. So currently our transmitter is directly above us, I think, and it's a little omnidirectional antenna. And if you're on the north side, you might have some trouble picking us up. And that's something we really need to rectify. We've made some considerable gains in that area. And we recently received a grant from the city of Lethbridge and received some other funding for a potential signal upgrade, which is great. But we need to keep that momentum going, flowing, if you will, and get that signal strength, get that signal upgrade completed, get us hopefully reaching out as far as Coaldale, or even, Coaldale, Coalhurst, would that be? Coalhurst is a close one.
Yeah, Taylor.
Wow, but that's considerable. So yeah, our other priority is expanding student opportunities. So currently, CKXU has 2 applied studies students working, and we would like to get more. Are any of you guys applied studies students or on internships? You're one. Yes, you're one of our applied studies students. And so it's very important. It's becoming a growing role in undergraduate programs to create a practical side, and that's taking off in universities across the country. But basically, we could take on a bunch of applied studies students now. But if we took them on, we wouldn't really have the resources, staff and volunteer-wise, to set them up for success. If we're going to take you on as a, let's say, applied studies or practicum student, we want to give you access to staff and professionals who can actually show you what the job is, give you a project, help you design it, help you do something that's awesome that you're interested in. And not just have you like, oh, here's CKXU, goodbye. Because that's not going to set you up for success. But to do that, we're going to need funding, we're going to need staff hours. And our final thing is working on bridging to the community. So I mentioned earlier for our signal upgrade, we've received $10,000 plus in grants that we've been able to bring in. And we also want to finance an increase in our human resources to go back, working out in the community, building positive connections between CKXU and businesses, enhancing our Friends program, building connections with potential sponsors, who could, potentially finance student initiatives, documentaries, programming. And we also really want to work on getting more grants. If we have more hours in grants, we can bring in money which will alleviate the stress on the students. So we can really develop a value-added situation, a small investment for students on the front end, paying off exponentially down the road through grant solicitation, advertising, and also increase community membership, because they all have to pay just like you guys to be part of us. Yeah, so those are kind of our 3 strategic priorities moving forward. This is going to expand our organization. This is going to get us set up to become like a really first-rate station. Not that we're not one right now, but I'm really proud of CKXU. I've seen them come a long way in the 3 years I've been in Lethbridge. The leadership here has done a great job. And I say that as just like a student and a member, a community member. I'm not on the board or anything. But yeah, is there any questions about the levy or the student elections in general, or any concerns?
Can you talk about how much student involvement there is now Because you're talking about more applied studies, but we already do have some applied studies. You're talking about expanding student opportunity. Can you talk about the existing student opportunity?
Yeah, sure. I think I can talk about that fairly comfortably. In the sense just that currently we rely on about 75 student volunteers a month on campus. So that's bigger than a lot of student groups. But again, and most of that comes in the form of program design and development. We have strong existing relationships with the faculty of new media and the faculty of visual arts, because we get a lot of performers, a lot of musicians, a lot of sound engineering people, have a lot of connectivity with our department. So Lauren Crazybill, who was from the faculty of visual arts, she's moved into arts, I think. But she's done a lot of work with us, and she keeps coming back, it seems. So I don't know what we're doing right there, but she's a quality person, and she seems to be learning from it. So is that kind of what you were after, or?
So like Lauren did the applied studies with the raffle.
Yeah.
Then we had Diego do an internship filming Love and Records.
Yeah, Love and Records.
Now we have Garrett doing an internship over there.
Yeah. Photography, right? Photography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're taking on about like one applied studies student per semester, and then all the student volunteers, but those are the students that are actually earning credits. We'd like to take on more than that, like a few every semester.
Yeah.
So, but that would take more hours.
That would take hours. So because currently our current setup on our hours is we have a couple of coordinators who make $50 a month, and they manage a large bulk of our operation. They do everything from our RT to a lot of our sound engineering, and also like all of our social media volunteer coordinating, and they only get paid $50 a month. And then we have 2 part-time staff, our program and our music director, and then we have 1 full-time staff who is Garrett. And that's not a lot of hours in the day to actually manage all of the balls, everything from making sure that there is music going out 24/7, to make sure that we're developing new programming, new content all the time, and to be managing all of our relationships. So we've kind of reached a point where we're doing well, but we're at the maximum limit of what we can do with our current resource base. And we need to decide the students need to decide if they want us to take that to the next level, or if they're content with what we're doing right now. And I think this is what's really driving the Levy question. It's about being student driven. It's about being a platform for what students want and what students want to say.
I think university enrollment right now, so the student population right now is in and around 7,500 to 8,000 students or so total. So you take 20% of that, and we're looking at, we need a minimum of between 800 and 1,000 votes, and that needs those are yes votes, correct? We would need more than half of the votes of the existing votes to be yes, and of the total number of votes, we would need that 20% of the student population from this campus. Right. Yeah.
For the election to be legitimate. I don't think they've had an illegitimate election yet. I think they always meet their quorum. I don't think that's happened.
If there's only 100 votes, they would basically just cancel the whole thing. I don't know, they'd probably have to just do
They'd have to redo it again. They'd run it
they'd
again.
have to do it again.
To
So,
push. Yeah.
hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully democracy isn't that weak in the knees around here.
This is on the bridge.
On the bridge?
No.
The voting itself? Yeah, where does the vote happen? I haven't been in university.
You can link to it through the USLU or SU web page. They'll have links
It's on
to
the
it.
Students Union
Yeah,
website.
yeah,
Okay,
it'll be
there's
there. And I think it'll be administered by it's operated by university IT. But there'll be links to it. We'll be posting links to it on our page, CKXU.com.